Welcome to Go Mustangs Sports Season Previews for the fall season as we get ready for the 2013 field hockey season. I'm Dave McHugh, joined by head coach Laurel Martin. And Coach, first and foremost, I know you're probably itching to get this season underway.
Yeah, it's exciting. We've been working hard, and we have our first opening tournament tomorrow at Johns Hopkins playing against some strong contenders. So we're excited to get going.
Certainly expectations can be varied. You come off of a season that was 4-4 in the MAC. You're right there in the middle of the mix. You make the conference tournament, unfortunately lose in the first round. But it's also kind of a building process in a tough conference. Mm-hmm. What are your expectations for this year with this team?
For this year, I'd like us to qualify for the championship for the MAC, and I'd like for us to get a bid into the NCAA and or at the very minimum qualify for the ECAC tournament.
When you look at this team, is that the realistic? I know you like to sometimes be a little pie in the sky.
Dreamer,
yeah, I know.
Yeah, absolutely. No, I think that's very realistic. In fact, I have to kind of tone myself down because I tend to go for the big things right off the bat. And this team has more or less, we have an entire returning team. So we graduated one senior. Right. We have a lot of strong players returning. The mentality of strength within their mind has improved dramatically, and their physical skills have improved as well.
That one player you mentioned, Katelyn Mae, who led the team in scoring last year, is, you lose one player on paper, that doesn't seem bad, but you also lose a lot of scoring. So how are you guys adjusting to that hole, as it were?
Well, at this point in stage, what we've done is we've actually returned a lot of forwards, and we've had some recruits that have come in that are strong forwards as well. So we have a very attacking midfield. Mm-hmm. So we're replacing our top scoring position with Caitlin Boom, who, I call her Caitlin Boom, but it's Caitlin Dempsey. And she will be coming back and filling that K-May replacement sort of role. And then we also have some returning players who played in the midfield last year that are now bumped up to the forward line, some transfers that are looking like they're transferring into the starting lineup. So it's going to be interesting, but I think we're not going to have one person who scores a lot, but we're going to have a lot that score little. And I think the one-goal games that we lost last year, we won't lose this year.
Kind of spreading the wealth a little bit, as it were, versus the target. Yeah. You mentioned Dempsey. She and Alyssa Russell had the opportunity to play for the national team over the summer. That's a great opportunity to kind of see a little bit of a different way of the game. What has that presented already in the preseason from that?
Well, they were invited to participate for a team that represented the United States. Mm-hmm. So they had a lot of strong caliber Division III athletes, and I'm not so sure exactly who else fell into the mix. And they went and they played the sport, and they fundraised, and basically they shared their passion by playing the sport. Mm-hmm. That just shows leadership within itself. So the fact that they did that and they fundraised and they did it all on their own, and then they came back, they're transferring that leadership onto the field as well, which is huge.
When looking at this team, obviously those are two leaders, as you put it, getting that opportunity. You're going to have others step up. If a fan's watching the game overall, what should they kind of see about this team, whether it be on the offense or the defensive side of things, that they may find interesting or they should key on?
I think what's unique about this team is we're very equal across the whole entire board. So the difference between the starting lineup and the top two subs off the bench is very little. And within the starting lineup, even though we're bringing up certain names, but there's other names there that haven't been mentioned that are just as strong, and it'll be interesting to see how they mature and progress through. We have Moody in the backfield, and she's a very, very strong senior player of ours who's good at distributing the ball, and she won't get bumped off the ball. So she's good to have back there. And when we have Hop, who's been recognized within the conference as well, Ariella Hop, she is a navigator. She's a chess player. She's a smart player back there, and she's good because she's got great vision in the backfield. And then we've got two goalies right now who are fighting for the spot. We've got a young lady who's transferring in, and also we have our returning freshman goalie. And they're both vying for the spot, both equally athletic and equally talented. And then we have another freshman goalie, and then we have a returning upperclassman goalie. So we're hot in the cage, which is a good thing to have.
Certainly. Of course, you're going to be hot in the cage. This MAC conference, certainly not easy. When you look at the conference schedule, when you look at how this conference is made up, where do you expect to maybe sit in the middle of the fray, as it were, and who do you think are going to be your toughest competitors?
It's going to be interesting. I mean, historically, Messiah has always been at the top. And then there's been followed very closely by the Lebanon Valley. And then there was also the Elizabethtown has been knocking on being nationally ranked, have been recognized, strong players. And Arcadia and Alvernia are recently coming from a lower aspect and rising up. And then there's us as well. I mean, we're kind of just starting to evolve with the Stevenson program. So I think it's going to be very even. There's a lot of coaching transitions. So I think, and usually with coaching transitions, it takes 3 or 4 years for it to play itself out, to see legitimately what that coach is going to do and how they're going to establish their program. And the coaching transitions, it hasn't been that long yet. So we're all sort of a work in progress.
Sure.
Yeah.
Out of conference to get ready for MAC play, how important will it be? You've got some good teams, you're going to play against. You mentioned the Hopkins tournament, et cetera. How do you see that helping you? Is it one of those where you're going to build from that, or are you really putting yourself on the line, trying to test yourself before you get into MAC play?
I think it's tricky. When I first came here, and I took over, what you have to do is you have to build confidence. So getting the right schedule to build that confidence was huge. And then as you start to build the confidence, as the skill improves, then you can get the harder schedule. And we're just starting to increase our schedule, and we're going to continue to do that as we improve. So I don't know what comes first, the mind or the skill. Sometimes I think it's a battle. So that's the trick with scheduling, is trying to figure out how can you move and progress your team in the fastest way possible.
And the true coach's question, the home field is such an advantage and important in any way you look at it. You want to win your games at home. How important, though, this year is it to also play on the road well?
Road's huge. I mean, all of our home games are in the evening, and most of our away games, with the exception of one, are during the day. So we have to train, we have to be prepared to play in the heat and during the daytime hours away and still find success. To me, that's a mind game. The best, just overcome it. It's not a big deal. You just get out there and you play. And
you're playing a majority of your games on the road this year.
On the road.
So you're really going to, this is a test for this team, is it? And with the expectations of trying to be in a MAC championship, those road games will be coming pretty important.
Yeah. So we're bringing in a sports psychologist to work with us. And
Very good.
We're doing a lot of fun things to try and work on the power of the mind.
Sure.
And to work on stamina and to figure it out. But the good news is that this team, I've just embraced them. They're all hardworking, and they've got positive attitudes, and they know where we're going.
Sure.
They know the dream that we have, and they want it. So, it's just a matter of putting the pieces into place.
Very good. Well, good luck on the 2013 campaign. Laurel Martin, head coach for field hockey. We'll look forward to chatting with her the rest of the year as well here on Go Mustang Sports.